What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over everything you need to know about Fortnitemares 2023 update. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like to see more, and comment down below what you think of this update and what your favorite thing about this year's Fortnitemares was. So the first thing we're going to talk about is going to be that the pumpkin launcher is back. This is, a given. This happens every single year. It's the RPG. Can be good. I think that it's just fine. I don't really intend on using it. If I was playing against somebody using this, I would be happy that they're using this instead of the sticky launcher, which still is in the game. Don't really have too much of an opinion one way or the other about the pumpkin launcher. There's a new stake shotgun which shoots wooden stakes, and it functions similar to the breacher or the heavy shotgun in that it shoots a single thing. Like the normal shotguns, like the sharp tooth shotgun, the Maven shotgun, the infiltrator shotgun, they shoot a spread of pellets and then you get damage on the opponent based on how many pellets you hit. The stake shotgun or the heavy shotgun shoots one singular projectile, and that makes it to where you either hit that and you get all of your damage and it's like a nice consistent damage, or you miss it and you get none of your damage. And that's kind of makes these, like the stake shotgun or the heavy shotgun, a very like all or nothing weapon. It's, if you just hit every shot perfectly all the time, then it's a great weapon. But those weapons tend to not be convenient in messy fights, or fights where there's a lot of movement involved, which kind of tend to be a lot of shotgun fights. I think your opinion on this will be very similar to how you feel about the heavy shotgun. If you really like those slug shotguns, then you'll probably like the stake shotgun. If you didn't like the slug shotguns, I don't think this is going to change your opinion. It is bugged with first shotgun, like how the breacher was earlier in the season, and that if you do get a purple or gold variant, you can hit for over 200 to the head with first shotgun. Don't think it hits for over 200 on the blue one, but it might. I know the purple and the gold for sure hit for over 200 though if you hit a headshot with first shotgun. So hopefully that gets patched at some point in the future. Overall, I don't want to ever use this shotgun in my life. I think the sharp tooth is much better and much more convenient, and this kind of has a similar thing like the heavy shotgun, and that I think a lot of people kind of tunnel vision on like the times where it's great and tend to forget about the times where it kind of griefs you. I would rather just have the more consistent shotguns that I'm just going to always get some amount of damage on the opponent. The Witch's Broom was also added back in this update. This is similar to the Nimbus Cloud if you played during the Dragon Ball update, where you take it out, you go into the sky, and then you can glide around or detach from it. For some reason, whenever I used this today, it was weird after I landed to pull out my weapon. Like in the past, I feel like you could pull out your weapon while you were falling down, and then you would land with it already out, and then you could start shooting. But every time I used the Witch's Broom today, I don't know if I just got really unlucky, or if this is how it always is, I had to take out the weapon after I landed, and it made it really weird for situations where you want to land right on the opponent and then start shotgunning them. I would much rather have shockwaves on the Witch's Broom. I think there is another mobility item, and that is going to be that the Kinetic Blade, a mythic version of it, is back, and you can get this from eliminating the Thorn vampire boss in Eclipsed Estate. When you eliminate them, they'll drop the Midas drum gun and this mythic Kinetic Blade. This functions similar to the purple one from Chapter 4 Season 2 in that it has 3 uses, but it gives siphon on melee attacks. And this is the only Kinetic Blade that's in the game. The regular one was not unvaulted. There's only one per game, and it's from the Thorn vampire boss at Eclipse Estate, who actually, he's not really that hard to kill, but he takes a long time. If you are going to be landing Eclipse Estate, I wouldn't worry about rushing him too much, at least in solos. In squads, maybe people can melt him down pretty quickly, but I think it's best to probably just, clear the POI and then make your way down to Kato. Anyone at the POI can see his health bar, so you'll know if someone's rushing to kill him, but you don't really need to be in any sort of rush because it takes quite some time. I would rather take out the other players, and then once the POI is clear, get rid of Kato and then get the mythic katana. There was a new quick weapon action swapping that was added for controller, and this is a new setting that basically makes swapping more ideal. You can hit your weapon swap button one time, and this will bring you to slot 1. So you could have your shotgun in slot 1. You could be on slot 4. You could tap your R1 or your right bumper, and you would be on slot 1. And then once you're on slot 1, there's an option in the settings to where if you press that R1 again, whether it goes to slot 2 or what your previous weapon was. So if you had your SMG in slot 2, then you could, be on your shotgun, shoot, hit R1, that'll switch your SMG, and then you could start shooting it, and then you could hit R1 again to go back to your shotgun. So it's an interesting setting, and I don't know if I'm going to use this, but I think most people should. For the rest of your inventory, you'll have to hold your weapon swap button, the R1 or R right bumper, and then tap a different button associated with it. And I feel like that is going to be where a lot of people don't like this setting, because like, let's say you want to get onto slot 3, you might have to hit R1 and then triangle, or R1 and then circle, or R1 and then X. That's how you'll get to your other weapon slots, and it makes getting to those other weapon slots very inconvenient. I already have a scroll wheel that goes on my controller, and I have scroll wheel up bound to slot 1, so I could be on any slot, hit my scroll wheel, and then be on slot 1. And then my scroll wheel down is for resetting builds. But this setting kind of aims to emulate that, but it makes getting to your other item slots like really inconvenient, I feel like. So I don't know how this is going to be. I think for most people, it's probably going to be an upgrade and it's going to be good. But I think getting to slots 3, 4, and 5 is going to be really inconvenient with this setting. And if you don't play Claw, it's going to be like super inconvenient. So I don't know how many people end up using this. I would recommend trying it out if you play controller and seeing if you like it, but I think I'm just going to stick to the regular settings because I already have years of muscle memory built up with that, and I already have a controller scroll wheel which allows me to get to slot 1 super conveniently and get to my shotgun whenever I want. The Halloween candy is back, but I don't think the 0-point pretzel is, which was the best one in my opinion. I think the 0-point pretzel is really good because you could eat it and then 0-point dash around. I didn't see that at all today while playing. The lightsabers are vaulted in this update, so you don't have to worry about that anymore. And I think the jump balloon augment was also vaulted. I didn't see it at all while playing today, and I didn't see anybody on balloon, so I think that might have been removed. The icy slide and rushing reload augments were unvaulted, and there's no more display cases for mythic weapons at Eclipsed Estate. Like I talked about before, you can go there and kill Kato, get the drum gun, and get the blade, but there's no more display cases there. There still is mythic display cases at Sanguine and Relentless Retreat, so if you do want to get, you know, the charge shotgun or the MK, you're going to have to land at one of those POIs. There's a lot of Fortnitemares collabs, or 3 Fortnitemares collabs that were shown in the patch notes for today's update. That is going to be Michael Myers. This is, you know, an iconic horror character. Crazy that they're adding him to the game. Alan Wake, which I think is like a horror video game or more of like a sci-fi thriller style video game. And then finally, Jack Skellington from Nightmare Before Christmas is going to be a part of this Fortnitemares. We don't really know the dates when these skins are going to be added, but these are 100% happening. These were posted by Epic themselves in the patch notes for this update. And then finally, there was a new UI added in this update. I don't really think it solved anything. If you were someone who didn't like, you know, the cluster of mess that was like trying to find the game mode you actually want to play amongst, you know, like 30 creative maps that you have no interest in, I don't really think anything changed with that regard. So I don't really know what they were doing with this UI. They did have, you know, pages where you can see more maps made by the creator that you're playing. And then there's also, you know, new genres or whatever that you can search for creative maps in. But overall, I think this new UI, you're probably not going to feel any differently about it than you did the previous one. It really wasn't that big of a deal. But that is going to be it for this video. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, what you thought of today's update and what you think of this year's Fortnitemares. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. You can easily shoot RPGs down into where I was. And I just seen the other guy over here. Dang, my aim was trash there. He's got a sniper, yeah.